Ever felt truly sick, only to have doctors find absolutely nothing wrong? Louise Hay knew that feeling. She discovered something that mainstream medicine took 40 years to catch up with. In 1984, a woman was dying of cancer. Doctors gave her 6 months to live. She refused chemotherapy. She chose something different, something that seemed crazy. She started talking to her body. Every night, the same words, the same phrase. 6 months later, the cancer was gone, completely vanished. That woman was Louise Hay, and today neuroscience proves she was right. But here's what no one tells you. It wasn't just willpower, it was pure science. Your brain is an internal pharmacy, more powerful than any lab, and you have the prescription. The phrase Louise discovered isn't magic, it's neurological. When you speak to your body before sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your brain enters a theta state. Brain waves slow down. The critical barrier dissolves. It's like gaining direct access to your body's operating system. But there's a secret even Louise didn't know at the time. Science has discovered a specific time, a precise moment when words transform into chemistry. Between 10 and 11 p.m., your body produces its highest peak of growth hormone. Your cells enter repair mode. That's when the magic happens. Louise called these affirmations. Neuroscience calls it self-directed neuroplasticity. Same thing, different names. Ever felt your heart race just thinking about something scary? That's your brain producing adrenaline through thoughts. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine your brain producing healing substances through the right words. This isn't theory, it's anatomy. Every time you repeat a phrase, billions of neurons create new connections. Your nervous system rebuilds circuits. Your DNA turns genes on and off. That's called epigenetics. And Louise was doing it decades before the term even existed. But here's what she discovered by accident. It's not enough to repeat any phrase. It has to be specific. It has to follow a formula. The phrase has 4 elements. Each one activates a different part of your brain. First element, recognition. You need to acknowledge your body is always trying to heal. Second element, forgiveness. Not religious, neurological. Forgiveness releases oxytocin. Oxytocin reduces inflammation. Third element, love. Self-love activates the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve controls your healing response. Fourth element, command. A clear instruction for your nervous system. Louise discovered this by healing thousands of people. Science confirmed it by studying their brains. But there's more, something she never revealed publicly. The phrase changes depending on what you want to heal. Back pain has one phrase. Heart problems have another. Anxiety has yet another. Louise mapped the language each organ understands. Sounds esoteric? It's applied neuroscience. Your liver responds to words about liberation. Your lungs respond to words about space. Your stomach responds to words about security. This isn't metaphor, it's neural mapping. Each organ has specific connections with specific brain areas. When you use the right words, you activate the right connections. The result, targeted healing. But here's what almost no one knows. Louise tested hundreds of phrases and most didn't work. Only one specific formula created consistent results. And this formula has been confirmed by studies on healing meditation, on therapeutic visualization, on medical hypnosis. They all reach the same conclusion. The words that heal follow a specific pattern. I'll show you that pattern. But first, you need to understand why it works. When you were a child and hurt yourself, your mother kissed the boo-boo, and the pain lessened. It wasn't the kiss. It was love transmitted through attention. Now you can do that for yourself. With scientific awareness, your body is always listening to your thoughts, always reacting to your words. The question is, what message are you sending? Most people send messages of fear, of anger, of frustration, and wonder why they don't heal. Louise understood that healing isn't fighting the disease, it's talking to it, and she discovered that your body has its own language, a language that bypasses the conscious mind and speaks directly to the cells. This language has rules, it has syntax, it has grammar. When you use this language correctly, extraordinary results happen. When you use it incorrectly, nothing changes. The difference is in the details. But here's something that will surprise you. The phrase Louise used to heal herself isn't the phrase she taught others. She had a personal version. more powerful, more specific. A phrase she whispered to herself every night, the phrase that truly saved her life, and that phrase was never published. Until now. Because this phrase isn't just about healing, it's about complete reprogramming. It's about transforming your body into a self-healing machine, forever. When you understand this phrase, you understand something few humans know, that your body was designed to heal. That illness is the exception, not the rule, that you carry within you the most sophisticated pharmacy in the universe, and that you have the prescription for all the medicine. You just need to know how to place the order. The phrase I'm going to teach you is that order, but formulated in the language your body recognizes as a valid command. It's like having the administrator password to your own biological operating system, but before revealing that phrase, you need to know how to use it, because misused power can be dangerous. Louise learned that the hard way. In the first months, she got frustrated. She repeated the words, but nothing happened, until she discovered she was doing everything wrong. The problem wasn't the phrase, it was how she was saying it. She discovered that tone of voice matters, that emotion matters, that timing matters. She discovered there's a specific way to pronounce each word, a way that resonates with the frequency of your nervous system. When she hit that frequency, the results were immediate. And here's the most incredible part. That frequency is different for each person, but there's a technique to find yours, a technique Louise developed by observing how children speak when they're hurt, how lovers whisper when they're in love. She discovered there's a tone of voice that bypasses all mental defenses and speaks directly to the heart. That tone activates what scientists call the relaxation response, the opposite of the stress response. When your body enters the relaxation response, the healing mechanisms automatically kick in. It's like you're hitting the reset button on your immune system. But there's more. Louise Hay discovered that body position matters. The exact time matters. Even what you eat beforehand matters. She developed a complete protocol, a healing ritual that amplifies the power of words. This protocol was informally tested on thousands of people. The results were documented, and they're astounding. But traditional medicine ignored it all. Why? Because you can't patent a phrase, you can't sell words, you can't monopolize what already belongs to you. Louise Hay represented a threat, not to people's well-being, but to the business model of disease. Imagine if everyone knew they could cure a headache simply by changing how they talk to themselves. How many painkillers would stop being sold? Imagine if everyone knew that anxiety could be dissolved with the right combination of words and breathing. How many anti-anxiety medications would lose market share? Louise Hay knew this. That's why she was careful about who she taught the complete protocol to. But she left clues in her lecture, in her book, in her interviews. And if you know where to look, you can reconstruct the original method, the method she used on herself, the method that really works. I'll show you where to find these clues. But first, you need to understand something fundamental. Your body doesn't distinguish between reality and imagination. To your nervous system, it doesn't matter if something is actually happening or if you're just thinking it's happening. That's why you can sweat just by imagining a stressful situation. That's why you can relax just by imagining a peaceful place. Louise Hay explored this principle to the limit. She created mental scenarios so vivid that her body reacted as if they were real. And in those scenarios, she was always healed. But it wasn't ordinary visualization. It was conscious neurohacking. Every image she created had a specific purpose. Every imagined sensation triggered a specific chemical response. She transformed her mind into a virtual operating room where she could operate on herself without a scalpel. And she discovered something that will change how you see your own body, that you have two nervous systems, one that reacts to what's happening now, another that reacts to what you imagine will happen. The second is more powerful than the first. That's why people die of fear before something bad even happens. And that's why others heal by imagining they're already healed. Louise Hay learned to program the second nervous system, the system that controls your biological future. And she created a technique that anyone can learn. A technique based on a discovery she made by accident. One night, she was repeating her affirmations as usual, but she was exhausted. She started to doze off mid-sentence. In that state between sleep and wakefulness, something different happened. The words transformed into sensations. The sensations transformed into images. The images transformed into absolute certainty. She woke up knowing she was healed, not hoping, not believing, knowing. And 3 days later, and the tests confirmed it. This state between sleep and wakefulness has a scientific name: hypnagogia. It's when your brain produces theta waves. It's when the programming happens. Louise Hay discovered how to enter this state voluntarily, how to remain conscious while the body relaxes, how to speak directly to the part of the brain that controls healing, and she developed specific phrases for this state. Phrases that work only when you're at the right frequency. Because in this state, your brain doesn't question, it doesn't analyze, it doesn't resist, it simply executes. It's like giving direct commands to your body's autopilot. But there are rules, specific language, safety protocols. Louise Hay broke these rules once and almost hurt herself. She was experimenting with a phrase to increase energy. She repeated it for 3 nights in a row. On the 4th day, she was so agitated she couldn't sleep. She discovered that the body takes commands literally. If you ask for too much energy, it delivers too much energy. So she developed balanced phrases, phrases that heal without creating imbalance. And she created a safety system, a way to test if a phrase is working in a healthy way. This system is based on how your body responds in the first 48 hours. If you feel lighter, calmer, more centered, the phrase is working. If you feel agitated, confused, or emotionally unstable, you need to adjust the phrase. Louise Hay tested hundreds of variations for each problem. She created multiple versions until she found the perfect phrase, the phrase that heals without side effects, the phrase that reprograms without destabilizing. But here's something that few people know. Louise Hay didn't create these phrases alone. She studied ancient traditions, Tibetan mantras, Jewish prayers, indigenous chants. She found patterns, structures that repeated themselves across all cultures, across all eras, as if humanity had always known that words can heal, but had forgotten the science behind it. Louise Hay reconnected ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience, and she discovered that our ancestors were right, that sound is vibration, that vibration is energy, that energy can reorganize matter, including the matter of your body. Every cell in your body vibrates at a specific frequency. When you're healthy, they all vibrate in harmony. When you're sick, some cells are out of sync. The right phrase can tune your cells back to the frequency of health. It's like tuning a musical instrument, but the instrument is you. Louise Hay discovered that different syllables affect different organs, that different tones affect different systems, that you can literally sing your body back to health, but not with just any music, with specific frequencies, with specific intentions, with specific love. The love that Louise Hay spoke of wasn't a feeling, it was technology, a healing technology that anyone can master, as long as they know the right phrase and know how to use it. The phrase I'm going to teach you condenses 40 years of research, decades of experimentation, thousands of hours of practice. It's the final evolution of Louise Hay's work, more powerful than any affirmation she taught publicly, more specific than any technique she published. It's the phrase she whispered to herself in her final years, the phrase that kept her healthy until she was 90, the phrase that contains the complete code of self-healing. But before I reveal this phrase, you need to prepare your body to receive it. Powerful words require prepared receivers. And there's a specific ritual Louise Hay developed to maximize absorption, a ritual that transforms a simple phrase into a complete, transformative experience. This ritual has 5 steps. Each step prepares a different layer of your being. First step, energetic cleansing. Second step, physical anchoring. Third step, emotional opening. Fourth step, mental alignment. Fifth step, spiritual surrender. When you master this ritual, the phrase becomes 10 times more powerful. Without the ritual, you're just repeating words. With the ritual, you're reprogramming reality. Louise Hay spent 20 years perfecting this ritual, and she never fully taught it publicly. She left encrypted instructions, scattered across different work at different times, like a jigsaw puzzle. Only those who truly needed it would know how to assemble it. And when you assemble this puzzle, you discover something extraordinary. That Louise Hay didn't just heal herself, she reprogrammed herself. She transformed into an upgraded version of herself, wiser, more intuitive, more powerful, and she left the instructions so you can do the same. The instructions are in the phrase and in how you're going to use it. But first, you need to understand why this phrase is different from all the others you've ever heard. All common affirmations start with I am, I have, I feel. This is a neurological mistake. When you say I am healthy while you're sick, your brain rejects the information. It creates resistance. It activates the defense system against lies. Louise Hay discovered this in the early years. She realized that the more she repeated I am healed, the more her body resisted. Until one night, exhausted from fighting so hard, she completely changed her approach. Instead of affirming, she began to give thanks. Instead of I am healthy, she said, thank you for healing me. Instead of I am well, she said, thank you for giving me peace. And something magical happened. Her body relaxed. Her mind stopped resisting, and healing accelerated. She had discovered the difference between a command and an invitation. Commands create resistance. Invitations create cooperation, but not just any invitation, a specific kind of invitation, one that your body recognizes as true. The phrase Louise Hay developed isn't an affirmation, it's an acknowledgement of something that's already happening, but that you weren't noticing, because your body is always trying to heal itself. Always. Even when you don't realize it. Every second, billions of cells renew themselves. Millions of toxins are eliminated. Hundreds of repairs are made. Your body is a self-healing machine working 24 hours a day. Louise Hay's phrase simply acknowledges this work and asks it to intensify. It's like thanking a dedicated employee. They work even better, but it has to be done the right way, with the right words, at the right time. The complete phrase has 27 words. Each word was chosen for its vibrational frequency, for its neurological impact, for its emotional resonance. It's a formula, not poetry. Here is the phrase that changed Louise Hay's life. Dear body, thank you for working tirelessly to heal me. Now I invite every cell to remember its original perfection. I am grateful for the health that flows through me at this moment. 27 words that contain decades of wisdom. But the phrase alone isn't enough. You need the ritual. The 5-step ritual Louise Hay developed to maximize the power of these words. First step, energetic cleansing. Before talking to your body, you need to clear the interference, negative thoughts, worries, fears. Louise Hay did this through breathing, 3 deep breaths, each exhalation taking away a layer of negativity. First breath releases anger and frustration. Second breath releases fear and anxiety. Third breath releases doubt and disbelief. After the third breath, your mind is clear, ready for programming. Second step, physical anchoring. Louise Hay discovered that the body absorbs words better when you touch specific parts of yourself. Left hand on your heart, right hand on your abdomen. The heart represents self-love. The abdomen represents personal power. When you connect the two, you create an energetic circuit, a self-healing loop. Third step, emotional opening. This is the step that most people skip. And that's why they don't see results. You need to feel real gratitude, as not feigned, not forced, real. Louise Hay taught a specific technique for this, remembering 3 moments in your life where you felt completely loved, completely safe, completely accepted. It could be in childhood, it could be with an animal, it could be in nature. The important thing is to reactivate the feeling of unconditional love. When this feeling is active, your body opens itself to receive healing. Fourth step, mental alignment. Now you need to visualize the result you want, but not in the way most people do. Louise Hay had a specific technique. Instead of imagining yourself healed in the future, you imagine that you are already healed now, and always have been, as if the illness were just a temporary misunderstanding, an interference in your natural perfection. You visualize this perfection being restored, not created, restored. It's like cleaning a dirty diamond. The brilliance was always there. It just needed to be revealed. Fifth step, spiritual surrender. Louise Hay knew that over-controlling blocks healing, so she always ended with surrender. Not passive surrender, confident surrender, like giving a recipe to an experienced chef. You know it's going to be done well. You surrender the process to the infinite wisdom of your body and trust that it knows exactly what to do. These 5 steps transform 27 words into a complete reprogramming experience. But Louise Hay discovered something else: specific timing. The phrase works best at 3 times of day. First time, right after waking up. Your brain is still in alpha waves, receptive to programming. Second time, at 10 o'clock at night. Your body begins to produce healing hormones. Third time, anytime you feel pain or discomfort, like a natural analgesic, but the most powerful time is before bed, between 10 and 11 at night. At this time, your body enters repair mode. Your cells renew more quickly. Your subconscious mind becomes more active. That's when the programming happens most deeply. Louise Hay did the complete ritual every night for 40 minutes. 15 minutes of preparation, 5 minutes repeating the phrase, 20 minutes in silent meditation, but you don't need 40 minutes, and Louise Hay tested shorter versions. The most effective minimum takes 7 minutes, 2 minutes for the 5 steps, 1 minute repeating the phrase, 4 minutes in silence. Even so, the results are extraordinary because it's not about quantity, it's about the quality of intention. Louise Hay cured not just cancer, she cured arthritis, depression, heart problems, digestive issues, all with variations of the same base phrase. For physical problems, she tweaked healing flowing to be more specific. For back pain, strength supporting my spine. For heart problems, love nourishing my heart. For digestive issues, peace calming my stomach. For anxiety, calm soothing my mind. The structure remains. The specific words change as needed, but there are rules. Always acknowledgement first. Always gratitude in the present. Always the language of flow, not fixation. Never my heart is healed. Always healing flowing through my heart. The difference is subtle. The result is dramatic. Fixation language creates pressure. Flow language creates movement. Your body works through movement, circulation, renewal, flow. When you speak the language of flow, your body understands perfectly. Louise Hay tested this with thousands of people. The results were consistent. People using fixation language saw slow improvements. People using flow language saw rapid improvements. Some in hours, others in days, most in weeks. But there was always improvement. Always. Because you're not trying to force healing, you're simply removing obstacles for healing to happen naturally. Your body wants to heal. It wants to be healthy. It wants to function perfectly. All you need to do is stop interfering. And Louise Hay's phrase does exactly that. It removes interference, it clears blockages, releases the natural process. It's like unclogging a pipe. The water always wanted to flow. You just remove what was blocking it. But some people use the phrase and don't see immediate results. Why? Louise Hay identified 5 common mistakes. First mistake, mechanical repetition, without feeling, without presence. The phrase isn't a mantra, it's an intimate conversation with your body. Second mistake, expecting specific results within specific deadlines. Expectation creates tension. Tension blocks healing. Third mistake, continuing negative thoughts throughout the day. You can't program healing at night and program illness during the day. Fourth mistake, not adapting the phrase to your specific condition. The base phrase is a template. It needs to be personalized. Fifth mistake, giving up before completing 21 days. Neuroplasticity takes time. New neural pathways need repetition to solidify. Louise Hay always advised 21 days of consistent practice. After that, the results become permanent, because in 21 days, you create a new neural pattern, a new automatic way of responding to illness. Instead of panicking, you enter healing. Instead of fighting against your body, you cooperate with it. Instead of feeling like a victim, you feel empowered. This shift in perspective is more powerful than any medication. Because when you feel empowered, your immune system strengthens. When you cooperate with your body, it cooperates with you. Louise Hay proved this by healing herself and then teaching thousands of other people to do the same. But she knew she had discovered something bigger than a healing technique. She had discovered transformation technology. The same phrase that heals the body can transform your life. When you change how you speak to yourself, you change how you relate to yourself. When you change how you relate to yourself, You change how you relate to the world. And when you change how you relate to the world changes in response. Louise Hay didn't just heal herself. She transformed into a completely different person, more confident, more loving, more powerful. And this happened because she learned the secret language of self-healing. The language your body has always understood, but that you had forgotten how to speak. Now you know this language. You know the phrase. You know the ritual. You know how to personalize it. You know how to avoid mistakes. All you need is to decide to use it. Decide that your health is worth 7 minutes a day. Decide that your well-being is worth more than your resistance. Decide that you deserve to heal, because you do. You always have. Your body has been waiting for years to hear these words. Words of acknowledgement, words of gratitude, words of love, words that transform you from patient to healer, of your own body, of your own life. Louise Hay discovered that each person carries within them the wisest doctor in the universe, a doctor who never takes a vacation, who never makes mistakes, who never gives up, a doctor who only needs one thing to perform miracles: your permission. Louise Hay's phrase is that permission: simple, powerful, transformative, 27 words that can change everything. If you allow them to, tonight, before you go to sleep, whisper these words to your body. Whisper them as if you were talking to your best friend, because that's what your body is. Your most loyal partner, your most trusted ally, your most intimate miracle. And it's time to start treating it that way, with the words it deserves to hear. The words Louise Hay discovered, the words that heal,